everyone, I'm Chelsea and I'm here with J. Marie Skin Studio. I'm so excited to demo some holiday glam looks for all you ASCP members, so let's get started. Okay, so I already went in on Lauren here and I primed her face and made sure I used some good moisturizing skincare, especially because we're in Colorado, so we're more prone towards dry skin. And then I also went in with a primer, so primers are really important as far as keeping your skin healthy. We want to make sure you go in with a silicone-based primer so that keeps all of the gunk from your makeup, your foundation, that keeps everything out of your pores so that your skin can breathe. Okay, so as you can see, I already did her glam look on one eye. I'm going to go ahead and demo on the other eye how I achieve this look. So let's get started on that. Okay, so for this cobalt blue color that I did on her lid, I actually went in and used a cobalt blue lipstick shade from Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I'm going to go ahead and go in. I'm using a small angled brush, and I'm actually going to have Lauren look straight ahead for me. This is going to show me where I want that angle for the wing to show up, especially because the tricky part is getting both sides even. So I'm going to just kind of map out where I want that wing to be. I'm going to have you look at me and close. I'm going to check to see how even we are. And go ahead and look straight. I'm going to go ahead and go in and start lining her lid just like a normal liner. Go ahead and close. It helps that Lauren is young and her skin is nice and tight already, but for any mature clients, I just usually hold their lid taut as I'm going in with the liner. And the nice thing about this is you don't have to be completely pristine with the first pass because we can kind of clean it up as we go. So I'm just kind of swiping it and stamping it across her lid since it is a cream. And since we went so bold, I can go ahead and start thickening it up. If you do feel you need to be held a little bit more steady, it does help to double brace the face. So I'm holding onto her brow bone, and I also am using my pinky as a little kickstand. And that keeps everything nice and steady. Once I get to this wing, I'm kind of using dragging motions. I'm dragging that angle across. And for this look, I'm kind of following her natural crease, the natural roundness of the crease. And off camera, I did go in with an eye primer and eyeshadow base. This is going to help your colors just show up a little bit more vivid. It's going to help it last longer throughout the day. And then I just set it with some translucent powder. And then I went in with this cream. So I'm slowly just building up the shape I want, especially keeping in mind what the other side looks like so I can make sure they're even. And if I feel like there's any lines I need to clean up, I like to just use a blank lipstick wand. And I can just drag that across and sharpen those lines. I'm going to switch to a more detailed brush. This one's a lot smaller, so I can get more of that fine point on the wing. Okay, since I used a cream on her face, it can tend to budge a little bit more, so I like to go in and set it with a powder. So I'm gonna just take a fluffy blending brush, and I dipped it in this blue right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and pack that on her eyelid. So with that powder, she's going to get a lot more longevity off of that blue since we did go in with a cream. And then I'm also going to go in and I'm going to clean up a little bit. You can see a little bit of transfer happening when she moves her eye up. So I'm going to go ahead and just clean that off with another lipstick wand. I'm going to go ahead and just spray it with a little bit of facial spray that I have here. I'm also going to pack just a little bit more powder on her other eye. Since it is a cream, I see a little bit of creasing, which is normal with a cream. So I'm just going to pack that right on that area. Okay, now I think we're ready for my favorite part, which is these crazy over-the-top lashes. So what I did to create these lashes is I took a normal strip lash that I got at the drugstore, and I got some feathers, trimmed them, put those on there, and then I added a little bit of silver flecks to it just to give it a little bit more sparkle. So today I'm going to use a black lash glue because that's my favorite. It's going to help define that dark lash line, and it's also not as noticeable as the white. So I'd go ahead and put a super thin layer all the way across the band. And then I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and use a lash fan that I have here, and I'm going to let that speed up the process to get that glue nice and tacky, because that's usually the biggest mistake I see with people. They put the glue on and then they stick it right on their eyelid and it becomes a little bit messy because it's not quite tacky yet. So Tracy with ASCP first approached me with this glam look, and she said over the top lashes. This look is all about the lashes. She even mentioned feather lashes. And then she also said that this video would be released around the holidays. So that kind of inspired the color play that we did. We did this cobalt blue, and then we added the white feathers, and then I love sparkle, so I wanted to add that little extra touch to those lashes. All right, so I went and grabbed some tweezers. This is gonna help me get directly where I wanna put this lash, which is as close to the natural lashes as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in nice and slow. I like to do the center of the strip lash, and then I add the outer corner and then the inner corner, and that's how I attach those. Okay, so I'm gonna have Lauren actually look down instead of closing her eyes completely because I don't wanna glue her eye shut on an accident. And then I'm gonna go in with the center. And then I pop on the outer corner, and I can hold it there if this glue isn't quite tacky enough yet. And then I pop in the inner corner. Okay, I'm gonna keep looking down for me, okay? And just keep looking down for a second. So just in case that glue isn't completely tacky, I'm gonna have her keep looking down before she lifts her eyes because I don't want any of those corners to lift. And while that sets, I'm gonna go ahead and move towards her lip. Since we did do such a bold color on the lids and these over the top crazy lashes, I'm gonna go ahead and use a nude lip on her. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. It's always important to make sure that you're using proper sanitation, especially when we're working with lip colors. So I have my lip palette here. I'm gonna scoop just with a lip wand some onto my palette, and then I'll apply it onto her lip. You never wanna use a tube directly on the lips. Okay, so as you can see, some of that lash glue did get a little bit messy around her lid and in this inner corner. So I'm just gonna use my little magic eraser here, another lip wand, and I'm gonna clean that off. The nice thing about the glue is if it's tacky enough, it should just peel off, just like that. I'm gonna have you close. There we go. Okay. Okay, now that I clean that eye up, I'm gonna go in with her lip color. And as you can see, this lip color has a little bit of a sheen to it. It's a little bit more glossy. That kind of helps balance out the look since her eyelid is so matte with that cream. So we're gonna bring a little bit of that gloss into her lips. And now to complete the whole look, I'm gonna go in with that blue eyeshadow that I used to pack that color in, and I'm gonna put just a hint of it on her lower lash line. So I'm gonna go in with that fluffy brush that I had before. So with the bottom eyeshadow, I do like to start on the outer corner, and I just slowly drag that in. For her, I put the most product on the outer edge so it's a little bit more pigmented. And then as I drag it across, it's just gonna fade a little bit, which is gonna look really nice. And then I just blend those together. We did get a little bit of fallout, so I'm gonna go ahead and just use my lip wand, and I'm gonna just pick some of that pigment up that fell onto her foundation. So if you find that any of that color is blending into their skin, I just take their foundation brush and I just blend it a little bit, and that's gonna help camouflage where that fallout went. So to finish off Lauren's look, I am gonna go in with a facial spray real quick. This is our rose spray that we offer here. And I'm just gonna spritz that across her face. Go ahead and close your eyes. I like to tell the client to not crinkle their face as that spray is setting into their skin, just so you don't accentuate any fine lines as that sets. All right, guys, I think that wraps up this look. Thanks so much for watching this one, and stay tuned for the next one. All right, guys, we're gonna move on to the next look here with Katya. We did a nice bling lid here, and then we went in with some stacked falsies with some red glitter. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. All right, so I have the rhinestones on these strips that are pretty sticky, so I'm gonna go in each strip at a time, and you can kind of see they taper longest to smallest. I'm gonna start with this one. I do have to keep in mind, since I am gonna go in with those false lashes, I need to do this a little bit higher than her natural lash line so I have enough room to go in with that false lash. With these, I like to start on the outer corner and just place that in, and then I'll bring it into the inside, making sure I don't stick any of her lashes up with it. And even for a more subtle look, just one or two of these strips looks really pretty. You want to open your eyes and show them. Even just for like a fun night out, or if it's a special event or anything like that, I'm all about the rhinestone eyeliner. I think it looks really nice. And close. Make sure that's all secure. So as you can see, I stuck that on pretty easily. This is actually from a sticker sheet of gemstones. There's already some tackiness on the back. So I just take them out of the package and put them directly on the skin so it doesn't lose any tackiness, because I think the more you stick it on things, it's gonna start to lose that. So I take it right out of the package and then I put it directly on her eye. So I'm gonna go in with this shorter one. Same thing, outer corner. And then I'm using my tweezers here to help me get this next one. And that looks good. All right, and I'll say if you are gonna be doing anything like this near the eyes with a client, it's best to skip the caffeine that morning. As you can see, I have to be really steady-handed when I'm working around her eyes, especially with these tweezers. If I'm shaky, you wanna be extra careful about that. Okay, we have one more. When I decided I wanted to do this look with Katya, I did go in and measure how many rhinestones I'd need to go across her whole lid. And then after that, I just cut 2 off of each, so they're staggered by 2 gems on the ends, just so they can kind of taper so that she is able to open her eye and it's not too heavy. And I think that's all set there. So next we're gonna go in with her false lash. Similar process as before, I'm gonna go in with my black lash adhesive. I'm gonna just put a thin line of that all the way across the lash. I'm gonna use my little fan just to get that glue nice and tacky. With these lashes, I did take 2 separate strips that I got from the drugstore and I stacked them on each other. I just used some lash glue to glue them on each other just to make them extra full. And then I just sprinkled some red glitter across them because that's gonna tie in the red lip that I'm gonna go in with here later. So if you are an aspiring makeup artist out there or an esthetician who wants to dabble into some makeup, it's really important to stress sanitation in these instances. I make sure that each client I have, all my brushes are fresh and clean and sanitized, ready to go. I make sure that if I'm using lips or any cream products, I'm not double dipping. I'm using all kinds of disposables like my lip wands, my Q-tips. Especially with mascara, you don't want to use the wand directly in the tube. You want to go in with a disposable wand and then coat them with mascara, just so you're not cross-contaminating. Okay, just like with my last model, I'm going to pop on the lash in the center. Then I'm gonna put the outer corner and then the inner corner. So I'm gonna have Katya keep looking down while that glue sets. I do find if the lashes start to get weird, it's usually the inner corner that pops off. So I just like to spend a few extra seconds there holding it there in place where I want it to be. That will ensure that it stays on all day. And I'll have her just let that set for a few seconds. And then with her eyeshadow, I decided to go with a traditional black smoky eye because I thought that would make the rhinestones pop. It will add some of that contrast in there, having such a dark shade versus the light, shiny shade. The nice thing about these rhinestones that are already tacky They seem to work really well over powders. I've never tried them over creams, but the powder, it seems to set really well and it doesn't seem to budge too much. So I recommend using them over a powder versus a cream. As you see, I went a little too heavy-handed on the inner corner for lash glue, so I'm just gonna take a Q-tip or a lip wand and I'm gonna take that off. I think so many artists get concerned with applying everything perfect right off the bat. The cool thing about makeup is you can just wipe it right off. All right, so I have a little bit of fallout from that glitter, which is a little bit expected, especially since I put it in lashes versus using like a glitter glue on the lid or anything like that. So I'm just gonna take a clean cotton round and I'm gonna wipe some of that glitter away. Okay, so I took care of some of that glitter fallout, and as you can see, go ahead and close. Those gemstones look like a little bit much when you first put them on, but when you add those lashes, it really helps tie the whole look together. So now I'm gonna move on to her lower lash line. I'm gonna put a little bit of eyeshadow there just to tie the whole look together. Okay, so I'm gonna take my eyeshadow palette. I'm actually gonna go in with this deep forest green color just because it is the holidays, so I wanna kind of tie that into the look. It's also gonna be a little bit more subtle because it is so dark, so it almost looks black. So I like just adding that little hint of color. Same as the other model that I did, I'm going to start on the outer corner, slowly bring that across. It's going to give it a nice blending motion that it's getting lighter, it's tapering onto the inner corner of the eye. Don't be afraid. This is a good example of when a client is not quite sure where you want to move their head. Don't be afraid to show them exactly where you want to be. It should never be hard to get to where you're reaching to wherever you're applying makeup. You can definitely have that client help you by moving their face just so the application is a lot easier. So I'm gonna look up. Get me. Alright, so with that bottom eyeshadow, I still got a little bit more fallout, so I'm just going to use my cotton round. And I'm going to dab at that. If I feel the need to and it's just not going away and it's being really stubborn, I'll grab the brush I used for her foundation and just kind of press that wherever that fallout is. Okay, so for mascara, I'm going to go in with my disposable wand. You don't want to use this one. I'm going to dip that in, get it nice and coated. Okay, I'm going to have you look up. And towards me. Now lastly, we're going to move to her lip color. For Katya here, we're going to tie in that red glitter from her lashes and bring a bright, bold red lip. So to start off a bright, bold lip, I always go in with a liner first, just because if you are going to go in with something like a red or a deep plum, it's way easier to see those mistakes. It's way harder to get a sharper line. So I'm just going to make it easier for myself and go in with a sharp pencil. I'm going to line all the way around and then I'll go in with the actual lipstick. So as you saw with the bottom lip, I have a couple tricks to help make that line really sharp. First off, when I get to the outer corner, it's way easier to reach if you do have your client open their mouth a little bit wider. And then if you need to check this bottom line, if they tuck in their bottom lip, you'll be able to see if that's straight. Go ahead and do that one more time for me. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the top lip. I like to start with a Cupid's bow and work my way out. Okay, so I have a kind of rough sketch of where I want the outline of her lips to be. So now I'm going to go in with my lip wand and I'm going to go ahead and go in with the lipstick, and I'm going to check her symmetry at the very end if there's any places that I need to clean up. Okay. And then instead of having the client blot their lips together, that can kind of mess up that smooth line I did, I asked them just to kind of lightly put them together. Perfect. That's going to help with the top part. It's already sped up the process for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean anything up that I need to. Go ahead and open. All right, that concludes our holiday glam lash looks. I hope you guys enjoyed and found some inspiration. I hope you take advantage of some of these ideas that I gave you, and strip lashes are a great add-on for your clients, or you can do some lash extensions. And then once you get in the know, you can get your clients to come in for a facial and all the other services that you guys offer. So thanks so much for watching.